You don't expect a close friend to try and stab you in the back.
This woman is crazy, okay? She doesn't know what she's doing. She's just not there in the head.
He faked his death because of unprofessional behavior.
Welcome back.
I've had clients saying that
I'm
Steven
walking
sent
out. I
them
can't deal with
sexually
this. No,
explicit
this is
text
too much.
messages.
This is too much.
Plaintiff Samantha Bauer claims her former friend faked his own death to avoid paying rent. She's suing for $5,000. Defendant Stephen Lippard claims the plaintiff is a crazy stalker who took advantage of him at a low point in his life. He says he owes nothing.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
I do.
Thank you. The Honorable Judge Jerry Springer now presiding. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Najee. How are you?
I'm doing well, Judge. How you
Good.
doing? This is case number 122 on the docket, Bauer versus Lippard.
Thank you.
You're welcome,
and
Judge.
welcome to both of you. Okay, this is what we have here. We have the plaintiff, Samantha Bauer, and you are suing your former friend, Stephen Lippard, for $5,000 for breach of contract. And so, Samantha, what is your case?
It's nice to meet you, and thanks
Thank
for
you.
having me. So, this whole situation has been a complete roller coaster of emotions. You don't expect someone who is a close friend and business partner to try and stab you in the back. So I own a nonprofit organization.
Yes.
Inspiration is everywhere. We do community outreach, we host workshops and sober events. We also do neighborhood outreach in our community, like helping people pay bills or helping around the house,
nice.
helping give them
Yeah.
rides, things like that. So I met Stephen through some mutual friends about 2 years ago when I was just starting my nonprofit. He told me that he also had a nonprofit. He did non-denominational church services and performed marriages, as well as had a DJ company. So we started working together because our goals and missions were aligned.
Yes.
And we, co-hosted events together. I was renting out a space above a veterans post in our
Yes.
town for
Yeah.
events. So I let him come in and do church services at the space, and in exchange, he DJ'd all of our events. So we became fast friends. We got very close. Our families got close. At the beginning of this year, the veterans post had to shut down because of COVID. So I suggested to the defendant that we start looking for alternate event space to rent out, and we both went looking together. I checked out a place that he found, and then eventually I found a space downtown where it was large enough for his church services as well as the events that I wanted to throw. And we agreed with another member of my board that we would split the rent 3 ways at this place and the utilities 3 ways.
And how much would that be?
It would be $617.
Your Honor, none of that
What
is
was
true.
Okay,
Hang on,
hold
hang
on.
on.
You're saying it was each was $650 a month?
$617.
I'm sorry, $617 a month.
So I signed the initial lease. I have that Exhibit C. That's
Okay.
the building lease. We
Yes.
did it under my nonprofit's
Honor,
name.
Okay, you are interrupting again. You can't interrupt until I come to you.
I signed it under Inspiration is Everywhere with my name because the events that we had been co-hosting were advertised as offered under my nonprofit. So we'd
Okay.
put on, our flyers and things like that, that we were hosting these church services that were
Not true.
run by
Okay,
him.
so it was under your name, the lease with the place, but you had
Yes.
a separate agreement about the,
Yes, Your Honor. That's
Splitting of the
Exhibit
Not
D.
true. Not true.
I had a
what did I just say? I'm going to give you a chance to
Okay,
give you your
okay.
side of the case.
Exhibit D is a sublease agreement that was
Yeah.
signed by myself and Mr. Lippard, as well as our third party, and that was at a board meeting in August.
Okay, I
Shortly
see that.
thereafter, I had been trying to call and text message the defendant regarding, our first payment of rent. We had to put up first, last, and security on this new office, and he had offered initially to pay the down payment for us so that we wouldn't have to stress about getting the money together ahead of time. So I had messaged him, that's Exhibit A. I've got some text messages that I sent to him where, I was checking in about the rent, And he said that they were in the process of moving, so he just needed a couple of days, but he would check in.
Okay.
At no point during these communications did he say anything about wanting to back out of the lease or having second thoughts, but I was getting a little nervous anticipating moving into this space without his assistance financially.
Okay.
So August 31st, the day before we were supposed to move into this office,
Yes.
I have a text message that I received from the defendant's cell phone.
If you would read that.
It says, "Hi, Samantha. It's Stephen's mother, Deborah Lepard. Knowing Stephen took a very bad seizure at his house the other day, he also fell down the stairs and hit his head badly when it happened. He was on life support for about 16 hours. I am sorry to inform you both that he took a turn for the worse at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and the doctors called the whole family together and made the decision that it was in the best interest to let Stephen go, and we are very saddened by all this. At that point, there was nothing that the doctors could do because he severely hit his head and was brain dead. I will keep you both informed about funeral services going ahead. Please
What?
say a prayer for the family. At this time, also no calls at this point.
What?
He is grieving very badly. Thanks, Deborah Lepard." So I was...
Wait. Well, I'm sorry for your death. What? Yeah.
Yes. So
You got this saying
Yes, I sent it to her
That you-
purposely.
that you
because,
died?
Because of the factor that
Welcome back.
she was harassing me for the money for the venue. And, Your Honor, I'm not legally able to sign a document because I have guardianship in Exhibit A. My mother is legal guardian over me in the state of Massachusetts. My signature does not mean anything on that. She wouldn't let me see the sublease. She wouldn't let me look at it. She just
I
had
have
me
an
sign
objection to that, Your Honor. He's been
ahead.
signing marriage certificates.
You
So
signed-
if
I
his
have
signature
permission to
is...
do that.
You're
through
a minister?
Yes, I am a minister. I have
So-
that permission through my mother to sign legal marriage certificates. When it comes to subleases and money, I don't do that. And when I do marriages, I do them pro bono and for free. I do not have people give me money for them.
Oh, wait a second. Why? First of all, let's take one thing at a time.
Okay.
Because I'll be honest, I'm not used to telling people or a text that they just died.
Why did I send that? I sent that for a reason, because this
Okay.
woman is crazy, okay?
What?
This,
Let's
she's,
not start pointing
but,
fingers. Who's crazy?
But I need to get my point out. The
Sure.
whole thing is, okay, is that she would show up at my house randomly, trying to come in my house like she did, I think it was August, and I never sent the text to her first. It was to her friend Heather, not to her.
It's
okay?
directly to my
and
phone,
the
right
reason
here.
I did this is because I was going through a very stressful time with my brother that just got paroled last year and was becoming out on parole, okay? I was very stressed out, and she kept aggravating me and coming to my house and driving me nuts.
That's absolutely not true.
I sent the text because I wanted her to leave me alone. I should have said just stop texting me, leave me alone, and stop harassing me. But I did this for a reason, because I didn't want to be involved in her situation.
Okay, now we're making some progress here. You admit that you send this, obviously.
Yes, I did.
Okay. And you were going to set up a memorial service?
No, she was. She was going to set up the memorial service first and pay for
Yeah.
all the funeral costs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, did you feel a little bit bad about that?
No, because she's done dirty things to me too.
Okay,
She's.
okay. So you're,
I am mentally incompetent through the Barnstable courthouse.
show me that you're.
It's Exhibit A, Your Honor.
Okay, let me take a look at it now.
Your Honor, can I
Well-
say something? A history with working with Stephen, dealing with lots of different kinds of unprofessional behavior on his behalf. We've gotten to the point where I've had 2 separate calls from clients saying that
Okay, I'm
Stephen
walking
sent
out. I
them
can't deal with this.
sexually
No, this
explicit
is
text
too much.
messages.
This is too much. This is too much.
Okay. All right. I think
I'm done.
in
I'm
light
done.
of the fact that he obviously has some issues.
He does.
But nevertheless, I'm going to take a recess just for a moment, okay? We'll
Okay.
just take a recess for a moment. Okay, Steve, you okay?
This was not for sexual comments that she was about to bring up that was in my life that she had no business involving in this court. about my life, sexual things that so-called her friends that have come to me about sexual things that she was bringing up in this conversation.
Okay,
That's
so-
why I walked out.
Stephen, I'm dealing with this case.
Okay.
I'm not dealing with your character. I'm not saying you're not a nice person. None of this. I may make a decision that is in her favor. I may make
Okay.
a decision that's in your favor. But it's going to be based just
Okay.
on the fact of whether or not, when that document was signed, whether you had an agreement that you would pay your fair share of that. That's
Okay.
all I'm
Okay.
deciding. Okay? So I don't want you to feel threatened.
I feel
challenged.
threatened by her. I
Okay,
really do.
but
Okay, I get it. I'll calm down.
here I am.
Okay. Okay.
I am saying I'm not trying to add pressure to your life.
Okay. Okay.
Now, your case is that an agreement was made,
Yes, Your Honor.
and the question gets down to, you showed me the document where, and there's a question about whether he has whether he's allowed to sign, but in any event, his signature is on the document whereby each would pay a third of that rent. That I see. Did he make an agreement with you to pay a third? And has he, over the years that you've known him and the years you've been working together with him, you guys have made agreements? Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
So so you can see where I'm going with this.
Yes, Your Honor.
Since you guys make agreements, this may have-
Verbally.
you sign marriage licenses.
Right, yes.
Right?
But the only reason I signed that sublease is I thought the building was going to be big enough. I saw the video that she posted on Facebook. It's a very small
Your Honor,
studio.
it's a 1,300
It would have not-
square foot room.
It would have not held a big enough church service for my parishioners and keep my stuff in there. Ambets was fine.
Well, what's the difference in the size of the places?
It's actually slightly bigger.
It's subdivided, and I've seen video.
Okay.
And I've seen where they did the Kung Fu class, and it's a small room. It's subdivided. This is why I went and got my own building for my own church and my own thrift store, because I was not going to be in a small space like
Your
that.
Honor, he faked his death because he had no intention of paying anything towards the sublease agreement.
I had
that
no
he
intention
signed.
of paying it. The thing is, my signature is not legal on the document.
Okay.
So then he
let's go to
knowingly
that question.
and
Let's-
willingly decided to defraud me by knowing that he wasn't supposed to sign anything and
Oh, but
agreeing to
like
do
you
it
were
anyways.
telling your ex-husband and the
Well,
courthouse
remember,
that
we're not
DCF
talking about other people's relationships.
If you look at the guardianship document,
I'm
it
looking-
says mentally incompetent.
And this was from 2007.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's still in effect till
I
today.
didn't say it wasn't. I said it's from 2007. And it says the guardianship includes, and the box that is X'd is, I'm quoting, the authority to consent to ordinary medical care only.
Correct.
In other words, if we're talking about particular medical care that you might need, what you signed had nothing to do with medical care. It had to do with renting a hall.
Right, but through the Barnstable Courthouse, they say...
I'm just reading what's
I
here.
know, but my
The point is, you signed it in your...
Yes, in my
yeah.
mind, I signed it for a reason, and I will be admit to that. I signed it because I thought this was going to be a good idea, and I would be able to use the space with her. But I've seen the
But
space.
because you said that, she went ahead and knowing, because she knew she couldn't afford it alone, when people tell you, hey, let's go in together, we'll each pay a part, then each person says, yeah, I could pay that part, I'll go ahead with the agreement. So she goes ahead and makes that agreement because you told her.
Right.
So she had every right to go ahead, and now suddenly you stick it to her.
But she
and
said
two
this-
things you did, which are not honorable, and you know that. For whatever reason, you decided to fake your death. You sent her that note because if you were faking your death for some other reason, that's that other reason, and I don't need to hear it.
I wasn't sending that text message to get out of this.
Well, then why did it go to her?
That text message went to her to keep her away from me because of what... I'm not going to bring up anything harsh or anything. She's crazy. She doesn't know what she's doing. she's just not there in the head. There's things that I could say online on right now that would hurt her, but I won't go into that now.
You tried to get out of an agreement that you made with her.
But that wasn't the reason for the
okay.
text message. Sorry.
Okay,
Sorry.
but you still to this day don't want to pay her.
I was told.
Okay,
I was
unless you're
told-
saying
hold on.
you.
I was told.
Are
that-
you saying that you will pay her? Because then
No, I won't pay her because I
Okay,
was
so
told.
you're still
hold on
saying-
a sec. I was told that was a
Hold on a sec.
sublease.
I don't hold on. a sec.
I was told that
Sir,
that was. No, I'm going to say
Sir, no,
this.
stop speaking. The judge is talking.
I-
Stop
Okay,
speaking.
you
The
have
judge
to.
is
You're in a
talking.
court of law. You can't just keep walking
I was
out.
told that was a sublease. I was going to sign the new lease when it came out, and she never had me sign it.
You've known him for quite some time.
Yes, Your Honor.
You've worked with him apparently for quite some time.
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing this and knowing these issues could come up or sometimes do come up for all I know, how surprised are you that this is suddenly becoming an issue?
This has been a complete and utter shock. The way that we worked together the past 2 years, there have been very few issues. He never mentioned the fact that he wasn't allowed to sign anything.
You never ran into this kind of situation before?
Right. This was
Okay.
completely out of the blue
All right.
and devastating when I thought that my friend had died.
You are involved in wonderful work doing community outreach to people that need help. There's
Thank you.
no question. I admire that. I really do.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You know, but perhaps here is someone that could use a little help or little, well, okay, technically.
Yes, Your Honor. I mean, he's under no obligation to work with me or associate with me, but at the end of the day, that's what my organization does, is reach out to people who need help with anything. So, I mean, after all of this is over, if he needed to come to us for any sort of assistance, our doors would be wide open, as they always have, but he's not obligated in any way to do so or to associate with me.
I think it was clear what was expected of you. It turned out to be a bad decision from your point of view. I get that, but people make bad business decisions all the time.
Your Honor, I'm not going to be rude. I just want to bring up one thing.
Yes.
I never at AmVets paid rent there at all when she had the building. She was paying the rent there. We met 2 years ago through a lady that was a bartender that I was asked to reach out to her because her company needed help. Sam is a great person. I'm not trying to be rude. We've had our battles, but, you know, maybe it's just going forward, it's not worth it, you know? And I'm sorry, Sam. I'm very sorry. And I apologize.
Thank you.
Do you want to amend your suit at all?
No, Your Honor.
You want the full 5,000?
Yes. I run my nonprofit almost exclusively out of my own pocket. Getting donations through COVID-19 has been incredibly difficult.
She's
This
on
space
PUA
is
benefits.
$18.50 a month. And between myself and my wellness director, we are currently struggling to pay those bills. But we are
Okay.
trying our best.
I find for the plaintiff $5,000.
I'm going to decline an interview. I don't want to interview, please.
It's still a devastating loss, whether or not he's dead or not. It's the loss of what was a really, really good friendship.
Hey, YouTube, thanks for watching. For more Judge Jerry, click here. For more Jerry Springer, click here.